this is a great move here. He had some good blocking there from the offensive line. Richard Moran came around the corner, but he made a lot of this on his own, as you'll see here. Made almost a full-speed cutback here and flew into the end zone.
Yeah, and the defense played it a little bit differently in the second half, too.
Well, they got a lot of, our defense created a lot of turnovers in the second half, and I guess the disappointing thing offensively was that we really weren't able to do much with it. This is a fine interception here by Tim Lewis. As you see, the ball was tipped by Alfonso Carricker, and Tim caught it falling backwards and, of course, tried to get up and run with it, but didn't get anywhere. But the big thing was that stopped their drive and gave us the ball. And this one coming up here, I think this is the one.
This is Anderson, yeah.
John Anderson.
It's a good catch too.
This is a great catch. He really goes up for it and brings it down. And this was another one that stopped the drive for them. And of course, this is the one that really gave us a spark in that second half. We were struggling for everything we could get. And Mike Douglas intercepts this and gets some good blocking here from almost everyone and just runs it into the end zone. He says he ran out of gas right here. He must have. Mark Lee caught up with him off easy there. I'm sure he'll have some comments on that.
Well, the Packers took a 23-17 lead at that point. There was plenty of time left in the game. However, when the Packers got the ball, you never got more than, well, you only ran the ball 3 times each time. You couldn't get a first down.
Yeah.
And Detroit got 3 shots at it.
Yeah, our first down play, they really had us loaded up on that, and they caught us for about a 2-yard loss. And this is a tough one here. As you see, this is a touchdown that, had they kicked this extra point, it would have put them 1 point ahead, and then the pressure would have really been on us. But fortunately, Murray missed the extra point, and that was a tie ball game. And then, of course, we were able to get the ball and drive with it.
Took a lot of pressure off, too, when he missed that thing. I mean, you only had to score to win it, and not...
Yeah, we didn't have to score to keep them losing. We had to score to win it, and that's the thing that we did. I'm really satisfied with the performance of this football team during that drive. You see that pass there to Preston Bernard, and, of course, this is the trap play to Eddie Lee Ivory and gets us down to about the 8 or 9 yard line, which was a big play. We had 27 seconds on the clock.
And then Al came on and kicked the field goal that won it. And you won in Detroit, which is a pretty big undertaking.
Well, it was tough. It just didn't come easy, I can promise you that. We didn't think it would come easy. We knew that they would be well prepared for us, particularly after the way we played here. They were emotionally high for this football game. I thought we had prepared well during the week, but at some points in the game there, particularly in the first half, it seemed like that mystique of playing in the Silverdome sort of got to us, and we weren't performing very well on either side of the ball. But the second half was a different story.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with some viewer questions for the coach after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Douglas. When the Forrest Gregg show returns, I'll talk to Jim and Forrest about my interception that I ran back for a touchdown against the Lions.
The talent to be a championship caliber team, or are there some trades imminent?
Well, that's a good question. It's something that right now that I can't answer about, particularly about the trades. You don't ever know about those. We'll do anything that we can do to try to strengthen this football team and make it a better team. I think we have some good football players right now. I think that with the veterans that we have and some of our young players that are coming on and that we're giving some opportunity here late in the season, I think that we'll know a lot more about our football team when the final whistle has blown on this season.
Yeah. Had the team won, and you can always go back in the season and say, well, a couple of plays here, a couple of plays there, we would have won these games. Had the team won a couple of games early on, say New England or Indianapolis or even St. Louis, do you think it's playing playoff caliber ball right now?
I think right now that we are close to it. I think we're closer to it than we were at any other time during this season. A couple of games early that we played well in, particularly the New York Giant game. We played extremely well in that game, but it's been sort of an up and down thing. It hasn't been a consistent thing.
Craig Soule from Iola wants to know, due to the resurgence of Walter Stanley on punts and kickoffs, can we expect to see him used as a receiver against Tampa Bay?
Yes, we will get him in the game against Tampa Bay. We had planned to do it last week, but the opportunity just didn't present itself. And we weren't really throwing the ball that much. And when we did throw it, we're not being that successful putting the ball up. They did a great job in defensing us. Also, you know, we dropped some passes during that football game that helped us. So that what that does is that kills drives and makes you start all over again. We were running the ball well, and we felt like that as long as we could run the ball, then we could keep pressure on, and we can keep moving the football. And we never got, we were 14 points behind, of course, early in the game, but we continually worked to get the field goals and get closer to them. So we weren't really ever out of the ball game. We hope to get Walter in the game this week and let him have a chance to show what he can do as a pass receiver.
Along the same line, Jim Zorn will start against Tampa Bay. Vince Ferragamo, you might get a look at him in the game.
Well, that's something that we don't know right now. We'll prepare Vince as well as we can this week. He really got very little work last week. You know, he only got here, I think, on Wednesday, and he really wasn't ready to play this week at all. Maybe that we'll be able to get him in this week. We'd like to.
He will be number 2, you think?
Well, I really can't say that right now. It just depends on how the preparation goes this week.
Against the Lions, he produced yet another big play, intercepted an Eric Hipple pass, and ran it back 80 yards for a touchdown. And Mike has joined us this evening. Is there any advantage, Mike, to playing a team like the Lions, a team that you play twice a year? You see them every year. You know what you're up against when you're going into the game.
I think so, especially with a quarterback like Eric Hipple. He has certain tendencies and certain things they do in certain formations. And if you study that and you watch that, you'll learn exactly what they're going to do in certain field positions. And that's what I try to do when I play against teams that we play twice within our division.
I said you've been a big play man. You have not had the big plays this year that you've had in the past. Your role has changed.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, due to our new schemes and our new defense, my role has changed. And I'm not pressed upon to make those type of plays as much anymore. Now my role is more containing and keeping everything inside and sometimes bouncing the play outside by crashing and just making something happen. So I've made the adjustment, I think, and when the time comes, I can make the big plays as shown yesterday.
It's a big play, obviously, against Detroit when you made the interception and ran it back. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, this is what happened.
I'm sorry, that's not, this is not it.
This is an outstanding run play.
That really
in
is.
this situation, I had taken the ball away before the guy hit the ground.
That's right.
And the referees were just late on the call.
Well, you had 9 tackles against Detroit, and so far this season you've had, I believe, 1/2 of a sack. I know in recent years, last year, you led the team in sacks. And that's, you know, people who watch the game are going to say you are not as involved as you have been.
Well, you know, you can say that just by being a watcher, but if you watch within our schemes, I'm doing just as much, because a lot of times we're in situations where we blitz the quarterback, or we have man coverage on the back, so you have to pull off. You don't always get to continue to go toward the sack.
It's got to be difficult for you, though, knowing what people say. If you listen to sometimes you listen to the telecast, they say that the announcers will say that, and they'll say Mike Douglas he isn't as effective this year as he has been in the past.
That's why I don't talk to reporters.
You guys don't know what you're talking about anyway, do you, Mike?
And the thing is, you got to realize what your job is and what's expected of you. I know what that job entails, and so therefore I don't listen to the talk, and I don't have people talk to me very much. You know, I think the guys kind of fear me a little bit, and that's good. Keeps me on my track.
We mentioned that the Packer scheme has changed. There's more muscle now, and you are one of the smaller backers in the league. Do you think you still have a good chance on this team in the Packer scheme?
Well, I think so. I think it's a lot of teams that we play against where my talents are needed. You know, we play a lot of teams that the back is used at the backfield a lot. I play good man coverage, you know, except for one time this year. But I think that, you know, the things that I do well and the experience I have within the game will help me to stay around at least 10 or 12 more years.
10 or 12?
Yeah.
That'll make you, what, about 40, 42,
yeah,
I think,
about
right?
$1 million a year.
You have, yeah, your contract's up after this season, right?
No, it's not. I have 1 more year remaining on my contract.
What do you think's going to happen? Have you thought ahead?
No, not very much. I think I want to, you know, just finish the season and then see what happens and see what the team wants to do.
Okay, Mike, thanks for coming by and stick around here. We're going to be Ellerson. He was a 7th-round draft choice from Wisconsin, and against Detroit, Gary saw his first extensive playing time of the season. He carried the ball 8 times for 72 yards and the touchdown. Gary, would it be accurate to say that you really put a game face on this week for this game?
Yes, I was really ready for this game. I prepared real well this week for this game, and I just really had to go out and show what I had to do.
More so than the other weeks, though. I mean, this was kind of your shot at it here.
Well, you know, Coach Gregg has been having me on the bench for a while, and I've just been learning and watching Italy and Gary a lot, and I learned a lot from them. So I just had to go out and do the best I could. You
came into Green Bay with a bit of a layoff from football. How did that affect your performance?
Well, early in the season, I think it affected me a lot. You know, I was overweight and out of shape, and I think it took a toll on me because I couldn't run, you know, long distance a lot, and I don't think I could play a full game. And right now, I'm in shape and about 210 pounds, so I think I can play a full game right now.
210 is where you want to be?
Yes, that's right where I want to be.
What have you learned this season sitting on the bench?
Well, like I say, I watch Italy a lot and Gary, and I watch how they're blocking because I think blocking was my weakest part of my game. And I watched them block other guys, and I just watched their technique, and I just learned from that.
Was it a lot different from the college game?
No, I don't think it was a lot different. The thing was that the layoff, you know, took a toll as far as my technique, and my technique was real bad.
Running, though, is such a natural thing. Can you pick up anything in a running style?
Well, no, I think I have my own running style. I just try to go out and read the holes and watch my blocking and you know, go from there.
You didn't have any trouble here on this run?
No, I just saw the opening, and I just turned on the speed, and I knew it was history after that.
Well, now at this point, what do? You've still got 2 guys out there.
Cut back.
You cut back.
It works.
Yeah. Did it help you? You think it helped you any not having a great senior year at Wisconsin and coming up here as a 7th round draft choice instead of a 3rd or 2nd rounder, and not having a great deal of pressure on you?
Well, you know, I wanted to play a lot, you know, early in the season. I think if I was a 2nd and 3rd round draft choice, they probably would have made Coach Gregg probably want to play me a lot more since I was making so much more money. But, you know, being that the pressure, you know, was off me, I did have time enough to take time to sit back and watch the other players.
Tampa's coming up. What do you expect out of them?
Well, the number one thing is, of course, they will remember this game here and the weather conditions. And I think that they'll be waiting for us, and they'll welcome us with open arms coming into Tampa, because I think that they've improved as a football team. They have some good football players. They're a fairly young team. They've got a young quarterback that has a lot of talent, and I'm sure he's matured since we played him 3 weeks ago. And I expect a real tough game.
You'll probably run a lot more, too.
Well, I know one thing. They'll try to run a lot more. They'll be ready to do that, because what did Wilder get that last time, Mike? You recall?
Last time he had 20-some yards, I think.
And, you know, it was a tough day to run the ball. You know how much we threw it. But I think that they will really concentrate on that, and they probably will feel like that they can control the ball on us on the ground.
Okay, well, that's our show for this week. The Bucks are coming up next, and we'll see you next week after that game.